Hey everyone, today is a special day. I am introducing you to one of our panelists for the fourth annual FAB Moms in Business Brunch. I'm kind of playing with the name. I want to add in moms in business, but I don't want to lose FAB, the philanthropy, the business, the family part. So bear with me when I say the whole name. But anyways, Jodi is one of our panelists, and I want her to kind of give us an intro into her business, her family, all that great stuff so that when we see her on May 19th, we can really connect with her. So, Jodi, go ahead and introduce you, yourself, your business, all those good things.
Sure. Hi everyone. My name is Jodi Riley. I am the owner and founder of Innovant Grants, and I live in Fort Pierce with my husband and my youngest daughter. My oldest daughter lives on her own. So I have two daughters and some dogs and some cats and some honeybees.
I was about to say, don't forget the bees.
I wasn't going to forget the bees. Everyone knows about that. We also own Bee Paw Farms, which is just a small honeybee farm, and we do produce some local honey a couple times a year.
Good. So, tell me, how did you get into grant writing?
So I really just by utilizing nonprofit services. So I had some pretty significant family challenges growing up and ended up in some not great situations as when I was young, as a young girl, and ended up pregnant as a teenager. And because of that, I needed tons of services like, Healthy Start for free diapers and helping people succeed over in Martin County for like learning infant massage and parenting techniques. I just needed a lot of support. From the community. So I connected with nonprofits all the time, and through that ended up getting a job at one of them when I needed work. I mean, they literally were there for me for everything. And I just fell in love with the work and fell in love with helping people because of how much I had been helped. And through that, just kind of grew in it and ended up really loving helping youth that were also in similar rough situations, similar to the one that I grew up in. And just through that, ended up in a program that dealt with a lot of government funding. There was a lot of red tape. There was a lot of things I couldn't do to move their situations forward, even something as simple as helping to pay their childcare subsidies, which is like $30 a week, and I couldn't do that with government funding. It was really difficult. So I tried to quit my job, and my boss would not let me. She's like, "You're not going anywhere. You have to figure out a way around this." And she said, just write a grant and use that money to pay for these things that the government will not allow you to pay for. So I did. I wrote a small grant to a local bank, and they gave me $10,000. And I thought, like, I was like, this is amazing. I was addicted. Like, that is the only way to put it. It is addicting when you win grant money. So I took off with that, and then I was writing grants every year. Pretty soon I was, writing $300,000 a year for our programming grant money. We were changing lives. Hundreds of kids were going through our programs in the Fort County area on the Treasure Coast, and it was really changing the trajectory of their lives. And I loved it. So when things changed in my work situation with the pandemic, I wasn't working at the time, and I picked up a couple clients that needed some help supporting their programs through grant writing and just couldn't afford to staff a grant writer. And when it came time for me to get like a real job, I had so many clients doing grant writing, I couldn't like leave them and go get a job. So I just ended up turning down a few job offers and sticking with it. And now we have a team of 5 and we work for lots of nonprofits, about 30 to 35 a year.
That's awesome. Ooh,
Yeah, it's great.
I think of, and it's a bigger scale. You're doing a way bigger scale than what I'm about to say, but bear with me. when y- they spoke about this at one of our first Tiffany tea party, where something so small or so big can literally change a person's life. Us giving a prom dress to someone that never had win and they had experienced this and they never had, I mean, it just domino effects and domino effects and domino effects into something greater. And then you hear them come back, especially different programs like the PACE Center, for instance, where those girls that went through PACE came back and now works at PACE or speaks on their behalf or tells their story. And I'm just like, could you imagine just you didn't know that if you did X that YZ, what happened? And you helped it. I mean, that's the beauty of, for me, nonprofits. I've been in it all my life. My mom has been a Boys and Girls Club director for since I was 5. So I know nonprofits and grant writing like the back of my hand. I don't do it, she does. But needless to say, I've seen it change many, many lives throughout my years. So thank you for all the work you do. I don't think you will ever know the impact and how many lives you touch through what you are doing. So thank you.
Aw, thank you.
Um, can you tell us any misconceptions that you have or that you have heard about your service or your industry?
Yeah, so my favorite, most unfavorite one, like my favorite one to hate, I guess, is grants are free money and grants are easy to get, and that's so untrue. So I think the biggest like message that I have for that to like combat that is that grants are not free money. Like you are paying for the money that you're given in your social capital. So meaning that that means that you have to produce a program that's quality, you have to have impact, you have to move some kind of initiative forward, you have to fill a community need. It's not just, oh, I want to do this and I'm going to apply for a grant and get the money for it. There has to be a need. You have to document all of the things that you're doing. There's a ton of work that goes into it, and it is far from easy. Extremely rewarding, but it takes a lot of preparation and forethought, and then it takes a lot of management once the grant is awarded. So I think it's really important to just kind of get people away from the idea that like, oh yeah, I could just write a grant and get free money and just do what I want with it. Like that's not the case at all.
Yeah. Do you help manage as well after they receive their grant?
So to a certain extent, we don't get into the program part of things because we're not part of the staff, but we will absolutely help our clients with like reporting and following up with the funder and making sure that we reapply if needed and providing documentation. All of the things within the grant portal will manage like from an admin sort of standpoint, but the client, the nonprofit itself is responsible for like actually implementing the program and making sure that the funding is spent in the way that we said it was going to be.
Yeah, perfect. Love it. So besides working on your business and getting new clients and all that fun stuff, what do you do to help you stay in balance with family, philanthropy, and running a business, multiple businesses?
Yeah. So with family, I'll go there first. So family, I we spend a lot of time together on the weekends, and I because of my job and having the flexibility that I do, I'm also like available when my daughter doesn't have school or during the summer to kind of flex my time at work so that I can spend time doing what she likes. Plus, she's a teenager. She sleeps until 11. So I have like a lot of work time when she's out to get my things done in the morning. So that allows a lot of flexibility. And then as a family, we love to be outside. We love kayaking. We're all divers. My youngest is getting certified in a couple of weeks. We do quite a bit of outdoor stuff because of the honeybees. We have a huge garden here on our property, and a bunch of like a whole bunch of fruit trees. We planted like an orchard.
Mhm.
So always outside taking care of that. We just spend a lot of time together in that way. As far as personally, I take a ballet class. So
Okay.
I know it's so much fun. I take an adult ballet class with a couple. It's local. It's in Port St. Lucie, and I absolutely love it. It's my favorite like way to exercise for sure. And then I take the occasional yoga class, which is my second favorite way to exercise.
Mhm. Mhm.
As far as philanthropy goes, that was really hard for me because I have been used to doing quite a bit of volunteering and sitting on boards. And when I got into this position and opened my company, it was not fair for me to do that for some clients and not others. So I was getting I would, pick and choose the things I want to do and then get some kickback from some clients who were like, well, how come you're not, fostering our rescue dogs, or how come you're not volunteering at our gala? Like, and you did this for that company. And I was like, okay, I have to take a step back and figure out what I can do in my own way. So
Yeah.
I do two main things right now, and just kind of to keep myself out of that whole situation with being unfair to my clients. I am the president of the Grant Professionals Association Central Florida chapter, and that's just a national network of grant professionals. So I serve as the president, and that's a volunteer position. And then I also formed a travel group called Expedition Humanitarian, we're just a group of women. We travel twice a year to foreign countries. We typically, we always engage with some nonprofit or charity at that location, and we try to give back either through volunteering, bringing supplies, helping in any way that we can, and kind of filling whatever need they have as a group. And that is probably my favorite project in the whole world, because it gives women the opportunity to travel safely as a group with me and some other experienced travelers that usually go along with us. And it's given them so much enriching life experience. And then we get to give back too, which just gives you such a broader worldview. And I don't know, it's amazing. I love that project. So our next trip is in Kenya in July, and then next year it looks like we'll be going to Cuba and Morocco. So we've just got all kinds of trips coming up, and it's just fun. On top of being very intrinsically rewarding because you're giving back, it's just like a giant sleepover for a week. It's so fun.
Good. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So, what is segueing into what got you here? What is one hardship or one life challenge that made you who you are today?
So growing up, my parents both struggled with addiction issues. I think that I definitely wasn't grateful for it when it was happening. I'm grateful for it now because I learned so much from it, and I wouldn't be who I am without going through that and dealing with it. It made me, first of all, it really showed me what I didn't want for my life, and then what to be careful of, right? So I feel like if I hadn't watched my parents struggle, I probably would have made some decisions and gone down a similar path. But I knew, it made me very street smart from a very early age. And so I think that shaped me. And then also having my oldest daughter as a teenager, I had to grow up very quickly. I've been taking care of another human being since I was, 18 years old. So that was, I think, very, in a way, helpful because it teaches you quite a bit. I mean, I worked 2 jobs for over a decade to care for her, and then when her sister came along as well, kind of the same thing. So I think those 2 things, as funny as it is to be, or as ironic as it is to say, I'm grateful for being, for having both parents that suffered with addiction and being a teen parent. I am really grateful for those experiences because it definitely, it made me who I am, and I think that it made me it took away a lot of maybe judgments or prejudices that I would have had against people in similar situations had I not experienced those myself.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Love it so much. So, what is one thing that you want people to know about you or your business that they wouldn't know otherwise?
So I think an important thing to know about me as a person and my business, and how it's carried forward into Innovant, is that I try very hard to have a no wrong door approach for nonprofits. I love the work they do. I believe in it with my whole heart. And when a nonprofit comes to us, even if they're just starting out, even if they just have no idea, we always provide resources. We always give them something of value to walk away from any conversation with us, no matter what. It doesn't, we never say, no, we can't help you. We say, this is how we're able to help you. Or, even if it's not what they were looking for when they came in, we find a way to make sure that we move the needle forward for them somehow, no matter what. And I think that is a reflection, a value that I carried into the company, a reflection of who I am as the owner of the company. It's just that I want to make sure that we don't say no and that we have a no wrong door approach for nonprofits.
Love it. That's very important. Okay. Alrighty. So thank you, Jodi, for giving us a quick little fast fact about you and your business and your family life and the bees, of course. Um, we will see you on May 19th in person to hear more about you and your story and your business. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. Thank you for the impact that you are making. And again, I hope you see how big of an impact you are making. Tell us how we can reach out to you, your social channels, all that good stuff.
Sure. So our best way to reach us, if you want to schedule some time to chat, is to via our website, which is just innovantgrants.com, and it's INNOVANT grants.com. Facebook is facebook.com/InnovantGrants. Instagram's the same, Instagram.com/InnovantGrants. And the LinkedIn is, they do it a little bit differently. So it's LinkedIn.com/company/InnovantGrants. Or you can find me on LinkedIn just by my name.
Perfect. Love it so much. Thank you, Jody, and thank you for being one of our panelists. I know you will add great wisdom to the chat. If you have any questions or concerns for Jody or myself, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Again, we will see you May 19th, 11:30 at the Fairwinds Golf Course. See you then.